Hi there, my name is Vince from Mr Telephone, and today I'm going to be talking about RJ11 to RJ11 leads. In the UK these are normally used for broadband, so they would be used to connect up from your little microfilter or your ADSL faceplate to your, for example, your BT hub, okay, or your router, whoever you're with. Now I'm going to be showing you how to make 3 different types of leads. A normal flat cheapy lead that you will probably already have with your service provider when they sent out the initial router. They probably supplied a flat lead. I'm also going to be, this is a 4-core, I'm also going to be showing you how to make an RJ12 lead using 6-core wire. And most importantly, because a few people have asked for this, I'm going to be showing you how to terminate RJ11 onto CAT5e cable. So for example, if you wanted to upgrade your flat cable to CAT5e cable for a better connection, then I'm going to be showing you how to do that. Now I do sell all these leads in my eBay shop already made if you don't fancy doing it yourself, and if you do fancy doing it yourself, then I do sell the cables and the plugs. So just quickly talk about the plugs. That's an RJ11 plug and this is an RJ12 plug. The difference is that this one here has 4 contacts and this one here has 6 contacts. So you would use a RJ12 plug when you're connecting up 6-core cable. So for example, if you had a phone system and it used 6-core cable, you'd need to use an RJ12 plug. But if you were just using a normal RJ11 cable for broadband, then you would just need to use a 4-pin plug. In fact, you can also get 2-pin plugs that will work for broadband because the broadband just uses the middle 2 pins. This one here is also known as a 6P4C because it's got 6 points and 4 contacts. This one here is known as a 6P6C because it's got 6 points and 6 contacts. Now the other thing you need to be careful of as well is the entry to them. If you have a look, these both look the same here. These are both RJ11 plugs, so 6P4C. They look exactly the same when you do that. But if you have a look at the entry to them, can you see that this one on this side here has got a round entry and this one here is like a rectangle. So the top of this one is rounded. So this is a round, this one here is a round entry one and this is just a standard entry. Now the standard one is absolutely fine to use if you're just using flat cable, such as this flat cable. But when you come to use CAT5e cable, you need to go for the rounded one because the CAT5e, you will really struggle trying to fit it into a rectangle one. So you need to get the round entry plugs. So just be aware of that if you're buying these plugs. I would think it's always best just to go for the round entry ones because as you'll see in this video now, I make my flat cable using the rounds and I also do the CAT5e using the rounds. So you don't really, if you have the rectangle ones, then they will work absolutely fine with the flat, but not with the CAT5e. So just bear that in mind if you're sourcing these plugs from somewhere. The ones I sell in my eBay shop are the rounded ones. Okay, so if you're buying them from me, they will be the rounded ones. Now, to begin with, I'm just going to show you how to use the flat cable just to make a quick ADSL lead. Now I'm calling it an ADSL lead. It can also be used for a wired up, a hard wire, the modem from years ago, the dial-up modems. They're not really used in the UK much, but in other parts of the world they will still be quite common. And they can be used for many other things, connecting up. Numerous equipment uses these RJ11 to RJ11 leads. So I'm just going to quickly show you how to wire them up, and I'm also going to show you the difference between straight wiring and cross wired. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire the 4 wire straight, I'm going to wire the 6 wire crossed, and then I'll be wiring the CAT5e up as if you were going to use it for a broadband connection. Okay. So what we need to do is, have you zoomed in down here now? So you're going to need some tools. You're going to need a crimper. This here is an RJ45 and an RJ11 crimper. Okay, this one here is just a RJ45 crimper, but I like using the one with the orange handles for stripping the cable back. It's just a habit I've got used to, so I end up using 2 crimpers to do these jobs. But you can do it all on this crimper here. It's just I'm more used to using this one, so for the quickness in the video I'm going to be using both of them. So what we need to do is we need to strip it back to begin with. Now on this crimper here it's nice because it's got the blades here, so it's really quick to do the flat cable because it strips the flat cable really easily using these blades at the top here. Okay, for the round cable you can also use this this hole here, but I've got another tool for that as well. But just to show you how to do the flat one first. So you insert it into the top bit here, hold it down, and then just pull the cable out. Yeah, and now that has stripped back the cable, that end, and it should have, you should have no damage on the wires there. If you look at the wires and you see the load of score marks and see the copper on the inside, it means you've damaged the wires. But these are kind of set up already. They're already measured, so you can just close them and pull. So I've done that side. Now I'm going to do this side. Okay, so that's both sides done. Now, just to show you the difference between wired and straight. For example, if both plugs were going on this way round or this way round, as long as they're the same on both, that would be wired straight, where they're both the same on both plugs. So, for example, on pin 1, it'd be black on this side and black on that side. That would be wired straight. If it was that way round, it would then be wired crossed. Yeah, different things use different things. So for certain phone systems, we'll need straight or we'll need crossed. But when it comes to broadband, it actually doesn't make a difference whether it's straight or crossed. It only uses the middle 2 pins. So if you're using this to connect your microfilter to your router, then it doesn't matter whether it's straight or crossed, and it only uses the middle 2 pins. So you don't even need these outer 2 wires, but it's just as easy to connect them up. And then the lead may come in handy for future use or for other uses. So I'm going to wire this up in a normal, if you were to buy an ADSL lead, this is how it would be wired up. It's normally wired up crossed, but as I say, it doesn't make a difference on ADSL. Right, so what you need to do is, you need to measure. So for example, if I was to put that on there, like so, that's no good because the white plastic sheath has to go under this little bit here that clamps down onto the cable. So what you need to do is, you need to have it roughly about that sort of length, but it's hard to measure. So what I do is I just guesstimate to begin with. Always do it too much to begin with, and you can start cutting down. So let's see if that's any good. I'll tell you what, let me just get the right plugs. Right, so it's a rounded one, a rounded one. Let's get the others out of the way for the moment. So we'll try it now. Now, as you can probably see there, that white bit really needs to go to the very edge here. So as you can see, it's still not quite far enough. So again, take it out and take a little bit more off. I use this part here because this gives you a nice clean cut. You can use normal cutters. The problem is it wants to be dead straight, because if it goes off at an angle, then there's a chance that one will connect and then another one might not, the little pins might not pierce it. So you need to get a perfectly straight edge. So I'm just going to cut that down a bit more. And now if you have a look there, can you see that the white thing is to the very edge there. So that's how you want it. And also you can double check, I don't know if you can see that because it's so small, but the wires have gone right the way to the very end of the plug. So if you can zoom in there, you can probably see the copper cores to the very end of the plug. Yeah, okay, so we know now that that's pushed right the way through. So all we need to do then is crimp it down. Okay, and that is terminated. So we've used the yellow on this side, so now we need to go the other way, so the black needs to be on this side because broadband's normally wired crossed. But as I say, it actually doesn't make a difference when you're using it in the UK for a broadband, but I don't know about other countries, it may make a difference. Other countries might have different wiring systems, so you'd need to double check, but this is for the UK. Okay, so that's one there, and again, exactly the same. Always cut a bit too much, measure it up. Yeah, I could do with maybe another mil there. Cut it again. And again, it's gone right the way to the edge, and I've got the wires going to the very end. Yeah. So then plug it in, crimp it on like so, and that's the flat ADSL lead made. Nice and simple. And to test it, you can buy these little testers for a few pound off eBay. You plug it in, they do RJ11, RJ12 and RJ45. Turn it on, and what we should find is, it should go from 5432, and it's crossed. So that's why these ones are going down and these ones are going up. If it was straight, I'll wire my next one straight, but if it was straight, it would be both going down together, but they're crossed. So number 2 is going to number 5, number 3 is going to number 4, number 4 is going to number 3, and number 5 is going to number 2. So I now know that that cable's okay. Yeah, so that's that one. Now exactly the same applies if you're doing a flat RJ12 cable. Yeah, so this has got 6 cores. So I'm just going to strip back each end. Show you the cores. Okay. Exactly the same as the 4 wire, but this one has 6 wires. Yeah, yeah. And I'm going to wire this up using the RJ12 plugs. That's the 6P6C. So that's these ones here with the with the 6 contacts. And again, these ones here have a round entry. The plugs that I sell have a round entry because they suit all the cables then. Yeah. So I'm going to wire this one up straight. So it would need to be, both sides will need to be exactly the same. Yeah. So remember the other one I had them crossed over. This one's going to be white on this side, white on that side. So it's going to be wired straight. And the same thing applies again. Cut it nice and straight. Push it all the way in. I've got the wires to the very end there, and I've got the white sheath going as far as it can into the cable. Yeah. So you want it going all the way in, and then when I punch it down, when I crimp it down, you'll then see that this bit that gets shoved into the cable, yeah, the thing that holds the cable in place, is fully onto the actual white sheath, not onto the wires, because it's not going to grip properly on the wires. But when it's on the white sheath, it's nice and strong. Yeah, so that's that one done. So I've done the white on the left-hand side, white on pin 2. So again, I'll do white on pin 2 on this. Pin 1 on this side. Now hopefully you will see that this one is wired. See that this one is wired straight, so you can see the white on this side and the black both on this side. So that's wired straight. Yeah, okay. And just to show you in the tester, plug it in. Now we should find it. If it's wired correctly, it should go from 1 to 1 all the way down to 6, because this is a 6 core cable. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me put it on slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's a 6 core cable, and it's wired straight, so they're both going down there together. Okay, so we know that that's wired okay now, so there's continuity between all the pins. And now lastly, this is probably going to be the most one that people's interested in. This is going to be making it using CAT5e cable and what colours to use. Let's just move that out of the way. So like I said at the beginning, you're going to need to have 2, you can use either RJ12 plugs or RJ11, but RJ11 is fine because we're just using 4 cores for this because it's broadband. Again, you could just wire it up with 2 cores, but I like to put all 4 cores in, and then it can be used for other purposes. So we're using the round entry one, RJ11, okay? So we have to strip it back. Now, a lot of people strip back using the drawstring. That's this little wire, this little string that's put in it here. And that is absolutely fine when you're using it for terminating it onto sockets or terminating it onto the RJ45 plugs, because you have a bit of room to play with. But the problem I have with it is, there's so little room in these RJ11 plugs, especially when you're using CAT5e cable because it's quite bulky, is that unless you get a perfectly straight cut on your sheath, sometimes the cable can pull out again, or it doesn't look very neat, or it doesn't really get a good grip in there. So for example, if I was to use a drawstring, then if you have a look there, so you don't end up with a nice cut. So for example, you can still see where the drawstring went down, and yes, the wires are not damaged, but then that's going to be hard to terminate into the plug because there's a chance that this bit here is going to be out of the RJ11 plug, because remember, you've only got like 3 mil or so, 3-4 mil to play with there. So there's a good chance that that's not going to make a great connection. So what I like to do is I like to use one of these little strippers here, and then I know I haven't damaged the cable because I can actually hear the wires snapping. not the wires, sorry, the sheath snapping. So let's start again. So use this here and just wrap it round a couple of times. And then if I go like that, see it's broken there, and give it a twist. I now know that that's nice and straight and I haven't damaged any of the wires inside because this hasn't touched any of the wires, it's just on the sheath. And now I've got a perfectly straight line there, perfectly straight sheath there to shove into the plug. Now what we're going to be using on this one for the broadband, we're going to be using the blue and the orange pair. We don't need the green and the brown pair. So let's cut away the drawstring and the green and the brown pair. Like so, cut it back nice and flush. There we go. So we're just using the orange and the blue. Now the signal is going to be travelling down the blue. That's going to be the middle two pair. It doesn't really make a difference what colour it goes down, but this is just a standard way to do it. So on the RJ11 plug for broadband, the pins that are used are the middle two pins. Yeah. So what we need to do is you need to wire it like so. Again, we're going to be wiring it cross because that's the idea of the broadband cables. They're mostly wired cross, but it doesn't make a difference. If you wire one straight and then you wire the other side straight as well, it will still work. So don't worry about it. You don't have to do it again. But it's just the standard way because I think they used to just copy the dial-up modems from years ago. So again, it's exactly the same principle. You need to untwist the pairs, and we're going to be using the white-orange, then the blue, then the white-blue, then the orange. Yeah? And the same as before, you just need to cut back, always cut back a bit more than less, because if you cut back too much, you're going to have to start again and strip back again. And then what you do is you get your plug with the rounded entry, and you put it in. Yeah? And shove it all the way to the very ends like that. And now you can see the copper cores have gone to the very ends. Might be able to, hard to see on the camera. And you can see that the white sheath is jammed all the way into the very end, just like it was on the flat sheath that we did earlier. Now you crimp it down, and I know now that's made a nice connection. Yeah. And again we have the white-orange on this side, then the blue, then the white-blue, then the orange, and we're going to do an exact cross of that. So this is going to be wired crossed, okay? But that's in there nice and strong. That's not going to go anywhere now. It's all the way in. So we're going to do the same on the other side. I'm just going to do this side quickly now because I've already shown you how to use it. Wrap that round. Snap it off. Use the blue and the oranges. Get rid of the green, brown and the drawstring. Cut them right back flush, right the way against the sheath. Can you see they've cut right against the sheath there, so it's just the orange and the blue that's sticking out. Okay, so unravel them. Now, just double check which way we wired this one up. So that was white-orange on the left, so this is going to be white-orange on the right. Straighten them up. Cut them back. About that much. I know because I make these all the time, but if when you're doing it yourself, always leave more than less and then put it on, and you can always take it off and just cut another millimetre off, cut another millimetre off, keep bringing it down until it fits just right. Okay. And push that all the way in. Again, copper cores to the very end. Sheath all the way as far as it can go into the plug, can't go any more. And then into your crimpers, press down. Yeah, and that is it. Nice and securely on. So both sides are now nice and securely on. And I don't know if you can see the colour code there, but if you can see they're crossed. But like I keep saying, it doesn't make a difference when it comes to broadband. You can do them straight. Yeah, and now we've just got to test the cable. So plug it into our tester, and remember this is a crossed one, so it's going to be going down on this side and up on this side, and we've just got 4 cores, so it should be using 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, let's slow that down. So 2 goes to 5, 3 goes to 4, 4 goes to 3 and 5 goes to 2. So that's it, that's how you make a very high quality broadband lead. So this is so much better than these rubbishy flat leads that you get with your service provider. So that's how you use it, make them using CAT5e cable. Yeah, you can use them making shielded as well. The only problem with shielded is it's a lot thicker, so it's hard to squeeze them into the plug. And you can also make them using the CAT6. When you're using CAT6, you're going to have to use a six contact one, because again the hole at the back is bigger. You will really struggle trying to squeeze a CAT6. In fact, you're not going to squeeze a CAT6 into there because there's just not enough room. But they do fit into the RJ12 plugs and the round entry ones. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. These leads really are quite simple to make, so have a go yourself. If you do want to buy them from me, because if you haven't got the tools and you just need a one-off, then please check out my shop. That's www.mrtelephone.co.uk, and you'll find all these leads for sale. The cheaper flat ones and the high quality CAT5e ones and the high quality CAT6 ones. Or if you want to buy the plugs and the cable and stuff, again, they're all in my eBay shop. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more videos in the future. Have a look back at my old video. There's quite a few videos there on telephones and networking. So if you're into this kind of stuff, hopefully you'll find it useful. Okay, take care. Thanks very much. Bye now.